Hello flowers, it's me, Cozy Bee. I hope you're all feeling healthy and hydrated today. Oh man, I love Zoo Tycoon 1, and I'm sure that if you grew up in the 90s and even in the early 2000s, you probably had this game as a kid and you loved it too. There are a lot of really fun playthroughs available on YouTube, but I can't find anyone that has made a Cryptid Zoo in Zoo Tycoon 1. There are a lot of mods on Zoo Tycoon 2 that allow you to do this, but I'm quite partial to the first game, so we're going to do that together in Zoo Tycoon 1. I picked the crater map and then I went ahead and flattened the area, and what I'm doing now is I'm laying out the bare bones or the skeleton of the park so I can see where I want everything to go, so I don't overlap anything where I don't want it. I actually made a map in Excel in a spreadsheet, and I'm kind of following the map that I made just vaguely to put everything where I want it to be. I know that on the left over here, we're going to have a Yeti exhibit, so I wanted to leave some mountainous area where it can live and be happy in the mountains. It'll be covered in snow when the Yeti is placed inside, but for now, we'll leave it as it is. The green fence that I'm using now is a guide fence that I downloaded along with an invisible fence set, and it's really useful for just outlining where I want the exhibit to be without actually needing to build one. So all the path work that I'm laying down right now is extremely temporary. We might not even use this path in the zoo at all, but it just shows me the locations where I want shops, restrooms, where I will have maps, where the viewing areas for the exhibits will be, and things like that. The only reason I really left this part of the gameplay in is because I know some people like to see how different players design their zoos, so I wanted to show you kind of how I laid mine out before I got started doing actual exhibits and decorations and things like that. For me, I'm a very organized type personality. Even though I'm a bit of a maximalist, I still like to have all of my things where they're supposed to go. So I laid everything out exactly how I wanted it to be, give or take. I kind of ignore the terrain here, I want to get things where they are in my mind. Here I'm using a dirt path to kind of show where my staff paths will be located. You do not have to have staff paths in this game. The staff will walk off the regular path to get wherever they need to go. Like if you have an exhibit door that's not on the regular path, the zookeeper will wander over and do what he needs to do without worrying about paths at all. But I think it's fun. It's a fun idea to have an idea that maybe in your park you have kind of a backstage area where the staff maybe has some of their buildings, their equipment, care for the animals, things like that. And I wanted to go ahead and show that here by making staff areas and staff paths that kind of go behind different buildings, including restaurants and shops. You'll see later when we put some down that they have back areas that don't necessarily need to be accessed, but if you put a path there, it looks like the staff will use that area to get inside without using the customer areas, which is a thing big parks like Disney have. They have a whole subterranean level underneath where their staff can get to and from wherever they want to go. So the paths that I'm making, they might not be perfectly even, they might not have the right amount of numbers to each block, but that's okay because once we start actually putting down decor, restaurants, furniture, places that guests will interact with, like reptile houses and dinosaur theaters and things like that, all of this will kind of become invisible. This is literally the skeleton, and we have not yet put on any muscles or flesh. So once we start putting all those things in, including trees, it'll start to kind of disappear, especially trees. You'll see in the live action portion that I record right after this, I am gonna flood this place with trees. I really want it to look like it's so deep in the woods that you could get lost just walking on the regular path. This game has a really cool feature that will allow you to lower the trees. Well, not lower, but like turn them off so that you can see what you're doing. So even if I put down like 100 trees in a single tile square, I can turn them off if I need to see what I'm doing behind them and then turn them back on. You might think maybe I'm gonna put down too many trees, but maybe I do, but I like them, so they're gonna stay. So over here at the very top, we're gonna have a mermaid exhibit, which will be in a huge tank. We're also gonna have a guest swim area, so it'll look like you can swim alongside the mermaids. It's gonna be really cool. And on the right side, across from the mermaids, we're gonna have the only, I guess, non-cryptid cryptid in the zoo, which will be the super croc, which is a secret unlock. And when we get that far, I'll show you how. The other cryptids, which I did mention while I was building their exhibits, we're also going to have unicorns, and we're also going to have, did I say Bigfoot? I don't know. Bigfoot's the first one we're going to do. Alright, so we're just about finished. I'm just checking to see what kind of terrain paints I want to use for the entrance, and then we hop right into the live portion. So here we go. Okay, here we are in our skeleton zoo. It's a little bad, but that's the point. It's just to lay out where everything goes. I realized I was going to put some just trees and things here while we were still in the, I guess, speedy version. But I remembered that in order to get some trees from the different biomes, well, at least to get more trees from the different biomes, we'll need to research them. So that means we're going to need to let the game run while people are coming in, regardless if we have facilities or exhibits for them. We might not even get anyone in, but that's fine. We just need to research. Let's see. We want to give the maximum amount to everything. But we're going to start with, well, that's fine for this branch. We're going to start with foliage, and we're going to just invest in that 100%. Obviously, it started this, oh, look at all this stuff down here I didn't see. Okay. We don't want any of this. Not yet. We just want trees. While the research is going, we'll go ahead and get started on working on the entrance plaza. There are other paths that we can get by researching them as well, or I think they just unlock over time. While the game's running, they'll get to us eventually. Now we can't do anything out here, but that's fine. We'll do as much as we can to make it look full. There we go, new tree already. I would like the entrance to look very, I guess, woody and foresty. I guess to do that we should remove the path I put here. Let's see if we can sneak some mushrooms in here. Of course we can. Okay. I have some decorative fencing that I downloaded. It's literally the exact same thing as the in-game decorative iron bar fencing. It's just black instead of silver. This is the one that's in the game. Okay, and this is the one that I downloaded. You can see it much more clearly. Oop. Oh, that's fine. need to get some new paths on the go so we can fill this with something a little more interesting. I don't think that's gonna cut it. No. This one is quite nice. Maybe the black would look good. I really want to give the feeling of being in a very dark forested area. So maybe the dark stone would be a good accent. And let's see, how does this look? That might be nice for our staff paths, actually. We have a grass path, but that's not really what I'm going for yet. This might be nice for our staff paths as well. Maybe. Well, we might just not have researched a path that I want to use yet, so for now we'll keep it the concrete. It's rather cheap, and we'll change it when we get that far. Let's see about getting down some facilities. I have downloaded a few custom buildings that look nice. They're very like matchy with the graphics. For example, I have downloaded a first aid building, which I think is pretty important. If you're going to go out in the forest and look for cryptids, you should make sure to take a first aid kit with you. Sound advice. Some of these buildings don't actually work, they're just decorative. I'm okay with that. I believe the first aid building is one of those where it just looks really nice, but it doesn't actually do anything. Let's see. Oh, they obviously use that as a skin. This is another building that I have downloaded, but it's 2 wide, and our path is 3 wide, so maybe we won't set that in the middle. It's like an information stand. I have another one as well. This one, that might be okay. Yeah, that's quite good. This little item right here, it doesn't look very good, but what it is, I don't know if you remember, but when I was a child, I went to the zoo with my mom and my dad. Of course you did too, I'm sure. And they had these little machines where you could put in $1 or 50 cents. I don't know how much it was back then, but you would put in your money and it would make a plastic animal inside. The plastic would pour into the mold and you could watch the, I guess, metal or iron plates close around the plastic, and your animal would come out all hot and fresh and smell like melted plastic for days, and it was the best. That's what this item is. It doesn't do anything, it doesn't look exactly fantastic, but if you come to a cryptid zoo and you don't take one of those home, look, that's on you. I can't help you with that. We need to exit through the gift shop, right? So let's find a nice one. I like the dinosaur one, but I think we might have to research it. There's a lot of items in the game that will just become available over time. So we'll need to keep that in mind. We may want to leave room or come back and edit things in the future. But I think we'll get a couple restrooms right up in the front, just in case. I should mention that you can also edit these buildings as far as color is concerned. You can change some of the things about them. So let's get a nice brown roof on both of these. Some nice flower beds in the corners would look good. Yeah, I like the red. Does this one look better? These are new assets. I haven't really played with them much. They're basically just really nice flower beds and different colors with a wood base. There are no flower beds in the game. Well, I say that. There's like 2. Literally, there's only 2. And they're not even available. Oh yeah, they are. This is them. This is what's available in the game. And that's it. I like to have more things than I know what to do with, so I yeah, I definitely downloaded a lot of things that just looked really good. Alright, I think we should get some more research on the go. I know we're just doing foliage now, but I feel like we need to be doing everything because eventually we are going to get our animals in here. We're going to need to know how to take care of them. We'll just let it run. It'll give us some decorative items, some buildings, and everything that we need. I think what I'm going to do now is just play a little bit of music while I work on editing the entrance a bit more. It's kind of difficult for me to be able to discuss what I'm doing and also do it at the same time. I know that's a big part about doing YouTube stuff, but look, no one is the same. So the point of the staff paths, even though they're not required, is to be able to let the staff wander the park kind of unseen in a way that, I don't know, like big places like Disney, as if this park would have that budget, but maybe it would. You can see that these buildings do have back and side doors, which do not have to be accessed. You can block them completely with like rocks or whatever you want, but I would like to give the illusion that our staff does need to use these places to get in and out, which means we'll need to clear a little foliage that we put down off the path. Now, guests will wander as well, and we don't want them wandering down staff paths, but staff will walk through fences. So as long as we keep everything fenced where we don't want our guests to walk, zookeepers, janitors will use these paths if they can, or if it's quicker for their AI to get somewhere, and guests will not. This cute little ghost fence, I wish I could zoom in closer to show you. I downloaded that as well. It's the best. Now moving forward, I do want our paths to be 3 wide. So let's see. Oh, that's quite nice. Maybe we'll do some of this instead. I always forget what we can unlock until it's unlocked. Makes sense, I guess. But I do want to have a border around everything. It just looks nicer, and it gives our guests more room to roam. I definitely want to give the entrance area a very wooded, thick forest look, so I'm going to focus a little more on that. Now, I don't really care per se where these plants are coming from, whether it's from the rainforest or the mountains or anything like that. Not right now. When we get to specific biome areas in the zoo, then we'll focus on that. For now, I just want to make the forest look as thick as possible. The closer trees are to the path, the more I would like them to be able to be more decorative. For example, this tree and this tree I chose specifically to put here because from the guest point of view, those look very nice together. I'm still not positive what paths I want to use. Those don't look very good together. Maybe these will look better. I just don't know. Maybe give me your opinion. What paths you think I should use? Dirt paths might be fun. It would give you the feeling of hiking through the woods to see these things, right? But I'm not sure. I don't hate this, the concrete with the stone. It is a bit bright though. This is literally my life playing Zoo Tycoon. I wonder for 28 minutes which looks better. And then I never decide, and I end up changing it all the time. But we still have more paths that we'll unlock later, so maybe one of those will look better. I guess we shouldn't spend too much time if that's the case. Okay, finally the dinosaur gift shop is available. I want to put it down kind of across from the restaurant. So let's clear out some of these trees for now. We'll put them back in when we're ready for them. Okay, so let's get it situated just across from the restaurant. Exit through the gift shop. Oh, now we got something else in the way. Here we go. Yes, right there. How does it look? Pretty good. Okay, now let's join up our other staff path. I think it's right here, yeah. We'll make it come across the back as well, so they have access. And we'll get a rope fence. I think the rope fence looks quite a bit like, you know, they could just undo it, walk through and put it back, and guests would kind of know, oh, hey, that's blocked off, don't go back there. Of course, if this was the real world, guests would be like, heck, I'm going back there anyway, but you know, this is Zoo Tycoon where everything is pretty good and guests follow their directions, so. Anyway, let's finish up the entrance. The nice thing about this version of the game is that if you make things really dense like this, if you can't see what you need to, you can hide the foliage. It'll all go away. That doesn't include the custom pieces I've downloaded, but as you can see, you can see everything. It's no big deal. gonna get rid of the flowers behind here. I think it would look better with some natural decorations behind the fence. You know, like we're trying to keep the forest out from where we've, I suppose, developed the zoo. And I think instead we'll bring the flowers inside. I'll show you what I mean. Something like this. Maybe not that one. Something like that. That looks really good. In my opinion. Your opinion may be different. That's okay. In fact, if you do have some different opinions about what you think I should do with the decoration, please let me know. I'll try and accommodate. Maybe something different here. There we go. That looks great. I'm not sure what to do along here. Maybe some manned shops. By that I mean there's little people that will stand beside small carts and sell things, like popcorn. And let's see. Maybe a tree swing? Something like that. Maybe crushed ice. Popcorn and crushed ice sounds pretty good. And like the other buildings, we can change how these look too. I quite like the red and white of the popcorn though. But maybe we'll change this one so it's not so vibrant. I imagine it's lemonade, but we'll tone it down a bit. Okay. We can adjust the restaurant as well. Maybe we want a darker roof. And maybe some green awnings. Oh, that's the roof. I wish we had a few more options. That's quite good. Maybe something here. And we can purchase the nice restrooms now. I think I will put a couple things down here, like the tree swing. And also I think I'll put a dinosaur bouncy ride. Something to do when you first come in. Costs $15 to upkeep the bouncy ride. I mean, I suppose. Can we change this? We can. Let's make it more of a fall color. That's nice. We'll leave the trunk as it is. Alright, so I think that's going to be the entrance of our cryptid zoo. Let's take a little tour. So when you come inside, it's very woody. You can get your information and your maps here. Over here is the gift shop, where I'm sure you'll want to buy something on your way out. You can stop and eat at the restaurant as well, and maybe take a break and hang out with your kiddos. You can also get some snacks before wandering deeper into the forest. And the staff also have access to these areas. There's a first aid stand and a couple of restrooms, as well as a souvenir maker. The most important thing in the zoo so far. I hope you enjoyed this episode. It was really fun just decorating everything, making it look very thick and full of trees. But here's a good look at everything without the trees, just in case you wanted to have, you know, a better vantage point. In the next episode, we're going to start, I think, this way. We're going to go counterclockwise. And in this enormous exhibit will be Bigfoot. I'll see you then. Take care.